What is going on, Media Kingdom? So today I'm coming to y'all with another video, and today we reacting to Derrick, you guys, the final inmate that escaped from the New Orleans prison, being caught, you guys. In honor of Derrick being caught, you guys, we're gonna have to sing a song, freedom, freedom, where are you? Cause I need freedom too. I got chains all by myself, and I got freedom dying. I'ma keep winning, cause a winner don't quit on this end. Okay, let me stop. So yeah, a lot of people placed a lot of parlays on Mr. Man, which I kind of wished I did, because once I saw all the mugshots, I kind of knew him or it was another dude. I forget his name. We're gonna be the last two probably left, but he ended up getting caught eventually. Now the rumor mill, you guys, is he basically got caught because his old girl told on him. I guess he got a girlfriend down in ATL or something, and she ended up calling it. Let me tell you what he should have did. Derrick, you should have found you a good old punk. No shade. We would have never snitched. Let me tell you, had Derrick gone and found a punk that he was dicking down, a good old bottom, man, you would have been free. You would have been, let me tell you something. You would have never gotten caught. You're me. I'm playing, y'all. But no, I'm gonna react to a news report, his also his court hearing as well, and then them at the location he was caught in. Now it looked like a trap house.
We are interrupting NBC News Daily because we are following major breaking news. Derrick Groves, the one remaining inmate at large from that massive jailbreak from the jail in New Orleans in May, has just been captured in the last 15 minutes in Southwest Atlanta. All we know right now, this is coming from U.S. Marshals and federal officials, is that they were acting on a tip from Crime Stoppers New Orleans and other information reporting that Groves had possibly been in the Atlanta, Georgia area. They went to a house, and that is where they found Groves in the last 30 to 45 minutes. It is our understanding from federal U.S. Marshals that Derrick Groves is in custody right now. When he'll be extradited back to New Orleans, that is not known. But as everybody knows by now, Groves was one of 10 people to break out of the Orleans Justice Center, which is just another name for the jail in the city of New Orleans back in May. 9 other inmates had been captured. Many believe that Groves could possibly have been the mastermind of this entire escape. Derrick Groves is a convicted killer, having been found guilty of killing numerous people on Mardi Gras Day several years ago. He has now been on the run for several months, but now on October 8th, he has now been brought to justice in the Atlanta area, in Southwest Atlanta. We are waiting for a video from the scene. It's our understanding that Atlanta PD, as well as federal officials, raided a house a few hours ago. They were tipped off that Groves could have been there. And now, according to U.S. Marshals, he, in fact, was there. Joining us live, the point person for a lot of this, U.S. Marshal Brian Fair. Brian, first off, congratulations on ending now what has been almost a 6-month search for Derrick Groves.
Thank you, and can't take credit for it. This was a team effort through multiple law enforcement agencies and with support from Crime Stoppers GNO.
So if you can talk about this, you have done a lot of interviews. You told us back in May.
The thing is, this whole story is very interesting because you too could end up in a situation like this. Imagine your family member does something and they're running away from the feds and they say, "Hey, can I stay with you real quick?" Like, would you be down for the count? Because a lot of the other inmates that ended up escaping, getting caught, they ended up getting caught because they tried to hide through like family members and stuff, and the family members ended up getting in trouble. So it's like, something like this could easily happen to somebody. I'm not saying you could easily have to go to jail and have to escape, but you could end up with a family member that's in that situation, and it's your decision to help them out or not. Now, I wouldn't. No shade. Because, bitch, I'm not going to go to jail behind you. I'm sorry. I ain't going to snitch on you now. Like, I ain't finna say, "Hey, they're over there in such and such house, but, you can't stay with me. I'm sorry. You can have some food. Don't say I gave it to you, bitch." But, yeah, it's some money, maybe. But even then, with the money, you could get implicated.
It may take weeks, it may take months, but we will eventually catch Derrick Groves. I know that the investigation is still fresh. It's actually happening right now, but how did you all track him down to Georgia, to Southwest Georgia? Was it essentially just a tip called into Crime Stoppers?
It was a combination of tips that we received from Crime Stoppers GNO and then follow-up work done by the U.S. Marshal Service over the last couple months. We developed information that he was possibly at a house on Honeysuckle Street in Atlanta, Georgia. And this morning, from what you saw in the news, was the follow-up of that. The U.S. Marshals New Orleans Task Force sent a collateral lead out to the U.S. Marshals Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force in Atlanta. They, along with the Atlanta PD SWAT team, acted on that tip.
Also, a lot of people are like, oh, why go to Atlanta? First of all, y'all act like this man could go far unless he literally changed his appearance completely, which I'm very shocked. Let me tell you something. He needs to write a book. I don't know how you could do that behind bars, but find a way, man. That way you could maybe start making some money behind bars or something. Because the fact that he was away for 5 months and he stayed with the same look, haircut, didn't even change hair color, nothing, and was able to stay away for 5 months, it's kind of like, it's impressive. Because I thought we were gonna find him with a wig, because they kept saying he was wearing a wig, like he turned into a T-girl. Which, living in Atlanta, he might have done that in order to go out and about. I'm not gonna lie, he probably busted on a wig real quick. You feel me? Because he ain't got no like facial hair like that. He busted on the wig real quick and was just like, and they're like, oh, that's a punk, and then they might have no business. So maybe that is a strategy he used. Like I'm very interested to know what he did to be able to stay away that long.
And behind the scenes, there was a lot of investigative work done here in New Orleans by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, the New Orleans Police Department, Louisiana State Police, FBI, HSI, and the U.S. Marshals. So there was a lot of manpower, hours, and investigation that went into this to today's result.
Yeah, and look, Brian, we're all going to have a lot of questions. So is the general public watching this right now. Do you know how long he's been in Atlanta or how he got there? I mean, obviously he didn't fly. Does it seem like somebody transported him across state lines to try to hide him out in Georgia?
I don't want to speculate at this time. I would.
He couldn't have flew. Let me tell y'all, if they find out this man flew, y'all need to get rid and find every head employee in that airport, because the way that if he flew, that airport is going to get in trouble. I don't think that people understand, because they could have found him. 5 months is a long fucking time.
I would guess that, yeah, somebody probably did help transport him there. That's going to be a follow-up investigation that will be done. It is possible additional people go to jail.
And is this the kind of thing, this does bring a close to this, with the exception of the investigation still going on at OPSO, but is this a day that people can breathe a big sigh of relief that all 10 inmates are finally back in custody?
Yes, I would say this is that day that you can finally, relax a little bit now that this has finally been done. It's taken quite a few months. We're just happy it's over. It took several hours once they went to the house today. He was hiding in a crawl space. A lot of manpower hours and effort and equipment had to be used today to get him out of the house.
And he came out without incident, or did he put up any kind of fight? I know these are details that are still coming into you as well.
I would not call this without incident. There was probably a 3 or 4 hour, I don't know if we'd call it a standoff, where we didn't know if he was in the house or not. Nobody was there, but ultimately he was located in a crawl space in the house.
Does it seem, I mean, look, Brian, I know this is all going to come out in the investigation, but do you believe he's been there for several weeks or months? I mean, is this the kind of place that he went to back in May and has just been holed up in Southwest Atlanta since?
That's going to take some more follow-up work.
My whole thing is too, like, the house that he was in, who's the owner of the house? Where the fuck are they? Did they travel and leave state lines to escape? Like, this story has so many layers that it's like, I cannot wait till a movie is done about this, because they could really show the background of each. This could be the new age Set It Off. Okay? Breakout. We're going to call it that. Breakout. So where each inmate gets told their personal story in a movie. Let me stop.
I would say we probably believe he's been there for a little while, but we don't know how long. It's going to take a lot more follow-up work on that end.
And look, is this the kind of thing, too, where you all have exhausted a lot of man
or follow-up work on that end.
And look, is this the kind of thing too where you all have exhausted a lot of man hours and time, but this is what the U.S. Marshals do? I mean, you track down people who are wanted by local, state, and federal law enforcement, while you've seen the task force get smaller, where NOPD, OPSO, state police had to pull some people back because they had to go on with other cases. The U.S. Marshal's office never stopped working on this.
Correct. And they still had people assigned to the case. Like state police has somebody assigned full-time on our task force. So does Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. So those people continue to work, and LSP and Orleans continue to support our efforts during that time. So did HSI and FBI. The scale got a little smaller, but like I said, we at that point, once the majority of them were captured, we were able to focus more on Mr. Groves.
And look, I don't know if you can see it, Brian. We were taking a live look. That looks like a federal and state SWAT team. As we talk to you, we have a live picture from Atlanta here where they just brought him.
Child, that member of the SWAT walking like a YN.
To justice. If you can walk us through the process for something like this, because I think everybody is captivated by it and wants to know, they want to see the veil pulled back. You make a call to your counterparts in Georgia, and is it basically they go to work immediately? I mean, this looks like a high-level task force here of highly skilled officers, SWAT team members right now surrounding that house that brought him to justice.
Yeah, correct. Well, so a lead is set out. They also have their own work to do, remember, like they have their own cases that are violent offenders as well. So they prioritize cases. Obviously, this was a big one. So they prioritized it and began working it. And it may not, I mean, some people would think, oh, it's just very simple. You just run out to the address and go knock on the door. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on to before you even go knock on a door. And that's what you saw today. There was a lot of work done. Like I said, Crime Stoppers GNO provided significant support all summer long, and even today. So it took some effort to get the result that we had today.
And look, Groves is different than the rest of these escaped inmates because he has been convicted of murder. He will spend the rest of his life per his sentence at Angola without
Which a lot of people
or parole. Did it make him?
Which a lot of people, due to his story, a lot of people have conflicting feelings about him being free, because the reason why that M was committed was due to certain reasons in regards to his family. Regardless or not, you're not allowed to unalive anybody in America and get away with it. So there is that. So that's like a big debate in regards to Derrick. And that's why some people were happy that he escaped and was able to get away with it for so long.
More of a flight risk? Did it make it more of a high risk matter, given the fact that, I hate to use this term, he really had nothing to lose? Because unlike a lot of these escapees who were pretrial detainees waiting for their day in court, Groves knows his fate. He is going to the state prison at Angola for the rest of his life.
We have got to the point where literally anybody.
I didn't even think about that. That is true. Because a lot of them, listen, let me tell y'all something. Some of them shouldn't have escaped because they just added to their sentences. With him, it made sense for him to escape. I'm not saying he should have, but it made sense because he really isn't getting out. When you think about it, some of the other ones don't have life sentences. Some of them had like sentences that were like maybe a decade, some years, and now you've just added like triple that because of all of this. I didn't even think of that.
At least it adds to our risk. We do assess what we're working on each case and determine what might have more of a risk. And obviously he would be way up there because he's looking at not ever being released from prison.
Now walk us through the process. And I've never seen this before back in May and June when you made the rest of these. He'll eventually end up in a jail in Atlanta. He'll be extradited back here. If you can walk us through that process, it'll probably be a couple of days, I would guess, based on the other cases that the marshals and the state officials have handled. Is that correct?
Yeah. If he doesn't get charged with anything locally there, he will eventually be extradited back to Louisiana. I would think that there may be a chance state police is actually involved in that process, as they've already helped extradite several of the other escapees to Angola. So, he'll get booked into the local county he's in. I don't have the county's name in front of me, but the local county in Georgia. and he'll go through a process. He'll either waive extradition or not waive it. And if he doesn't, they'll ultimately get a governor's warrant, and he'll be extradited back to Louisiana.
And look, Brian, this is something you've been involved in with the rest of your team of U.S. Marshals, as well as state police and NOPD and OPSO. Atlanta was handling a lot of this. You were waiting for a text message or phone call. When you got it, I mean, is there a sense of, okay, finally, it's over? This tip actually led to an arrest, and this is him, because we've seen you all chase a lot of leads. Some of those bear no fruit, but this one obviously did, and now he's in custody.
Yeah, so we were in the office, hovered around our phones and communicating directly with them and waiting on it. So there was a lot of excitement here once we were finally notified that he was in custody. For a while, there was some concern because this drug on for quite a few hours before he was taken into custody. And we've had several tips and investigative things that we've done over the summer that we've been left basically holding the bag or not found him. So we were starting to get a little concerned, but we were confident that there was a pretty good shot that he was in that house.
And look, I know that we've talked to other sources. They told us there were some tips coming in recently. There was some chatter, I guess, that he may have been in the Atlanta area. Is that kind of why you all focused in on this area when you start getting a lot of tips?
And you know what comments I've been seeing online that I hate? They're like, oh my God, why would you go to Atlanta? You guys act like he had all the choices in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could just, let me get on my PJ and go to Mexico. Like, are you crazy? Especially with everything going nowadays in regards to travel and people and certain people not being able to travel. Like, come on now. This man didn't have a lot of choices. So for the people that are expert criminals and are giving suggestions on where he should have went, I dare y'all to be in his position, because y'all wouldn't have lasted as long as this man did. For him to have lasted that long, who knows how long he was in Atlanta, but for him to be in Atlanta for the amount of time that he was in was still very impressive, okay?
And a lot of chatter. Does it become reality?
Well, there's been multiple tips in Atlanta and other areas in Georgia, and then there was stuff in Texas and other places. So we had to follow up on everything along the way, I would say. And then we had to do our own investigation as well to try to see what we could develop from talking to people, looking through records, and it was all time consuming.
All right, Brian Fair, U.S. Marshal, we appreciate your time. I know that you and your team are probably very happy with this outcome today, that Derrick Groves was finally brought to justice.
Yeah, the team is very happy with the end result of this. Everybody's extremely excited right now.
All right, so now you guys, it looks as if they actually had video of them at the site of him basically getting arrested. Okay.
Number of canisters of gas to help move him throughout the house, which he moved to the basement of the house soon after Clayton,
which the house looked like a trap.
County K9 was deployed in the crawl space of the location and found him in that.
Video from the scene shows the front door, window, and garage door of the home blown out. It seems as though a bed frame was in the garage. It's unclear how long he's been in Atlanta and how he even got there. But neighbors tell us they've been seeing some suspicious activity for nearly a month. One neighbor says when she would go out to get the mail, she would see someone staring at her from across the way through the blinds.
I said, somebody is looking out that window. And when I saw him in the color, I said, that was him. He knew when I went to the mailbox.
With Groves in
girl. I know, Mr. Groves, you better not have damn well thinking of getting that old lady. What you over there staring at her for? See, that's your problem. Like, you really could have got away with it maybe a little bit longer had your dumb ass not been so damn curious. What you staring at her for? Because it's giving you was planning on robbing her. I'm just assuming, y'all, but still, like,
custody. Neighbors in Atlanta and New Orleans can breathe a sigh of relief. Now that he's in custody, the extradition process will begin soon and he'll be brought back here to Louisiana.
All right, so he did have like a small hearing, and he had a court appearance, my bad, in regards to like the extradition process. A lot of people were commenting on his looks. I will say he gives me crazy trade. This the type of trade you don't want to mess with. You know what I'm saying? You leave trade like that alone, because if you piss them off, they will kill you. She.
We're definitely maybe we can just post. I'm sure I'll about that.
Well, since his arrest, you could tell he has grown out his hair a little bit. Once again, I'm still surprised that he didn't try to disguise his look a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe dye your hair blonde. I would dye my hair blonde. And once again, I do not encourage criminal behavior. Dye your hair blonde, maybe a little pink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Are we recording on the Zoom call?
Recording in progress.
Thank you. So my understanding is we do have some other 11 o'clock matters, but we're going to do the extradition first. Right? Okay. And so do we have Derrick Groves?
Yeah, he's right here.
If you could come up, sir. I'm right here.
Why is he so giggly? This man don't take shit serious. Y'all gotta understand when a nigga don't care, he don't care. And this little them niggas. That's like this is his second time you guys escaping. So this isn't the first. Okay.
Have a seat, if you don't mind. Good morning.
One or the green.
So, sir, I'm Judge Wolf. This is your extradition. I want to go over your rights so you can decide whether you want to waive extradition or not. You're wanted out of the state of Louisiana for aggravated escape. I'm going to explain to you first what happens if you decide to have an extradition.
No shade. Some charges I'll be never hearing of until it happens. It's like they make them up as they go. What the hell is an aggravated escape? I thought it was called something else. How do you escape something aggressively? Aggravated battery is okay, that makes sense. Aggravated assault, that makes sense. Aggravated escape is like, the fuck? Am I the only one that's thinking that? But
Hearing, then what will happen if you decide not to have one? So you have the right to an extradition hearing if you choose. You have the right to hire an attorney to prepare for and conduct that hearing. If that's your choice, I will postpone the hearing for a reasonable time, 60 to 90 days, for you to obtain counsel. The law does not give you the right to a public defender or appointed attorney for purposes of extradition. If you choose to have the hearing, I will reset your case 60 to 90 days to allow your attorney to prepare for the hearing. At the hearing, there'll be three issues. Are you the person named in the warrant? Did the governor of Louisiana sign the warrant? And what you're charged with in Louisiana, is that a crime in that state? I cannot consider your guilt, innocence, the merits of the case, or evidence connected with the underlying case. If after the hearing I determine that the requesting state, Louisiana, has met its burden of showing those three things, then they would have approximately 15 business days to pick you up. If they don't, then you'd be brought back before me and I would consider releasing you. If after the hearing I were to find that Louisiana failed to prove—
no shade, that security guard on the side, she look a little bit too comforting to him. She wants a piece. No shade. I see all in her eyes. She keep looking at him up and down, you know, with googly eyes. He is an attractive nigga, no shade. But it's like, girl, do you want to lose your job? Am I the only one that notices that? Look at her the whole time. She just keep doing this. She's like, she's doing one of those.
Those three things, then you would be released. You also have the right to waive or not have that extradition hearing if you choose. If you waive your hearing, then Louisiana has approximately 15 business days from today to come get you. If they don't, then you'd be brought back before me and I would consider releasing you. However, you may be held up to 30 days before being released. Regardless whether you're released in Georgia, you are subject to arrest again at any time as long as this Louisiana warrant remains active. So even if you are released, you may wish to consider returning to Louisiana to have the matter resolved. Also, the media is here. I want to let you know they filed the appropriate paperwork. It's called Rule 11, and that was signed by one of our judges, our chief judge, and so they are here as well. You also have the right to remain silent. So let me just ask, though, do you have any questions about your extradition rights? No. And do you want to challenge extradition, or do you want to return to Louisiana?
I want to return where I'm from.
You want to go back to Louisiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got that thick ass little ass Atlanta accent. I want to return to where I'm from. Okay.
So I do find you freely, voluntarily, and knowingly are waiving your extradition rights. I'm going to sign the paperwork, and that's all we're going to do here today. Thank you, sir.
You see that? You see that? Do you see her? Look at her. And he looked her up and down too. He like, shout out, I want you, baby. I want you, baby.
Okay. And in terms of anybody who has an interest.
Okay, you guys, let me know what you guys think down below. Were you guys surprised he was caught? And how do you guys think he got there? I really feel as if it was a friend he met and ended up going with them to Atlanta, probably that lives in Louisiana, that had connections in Atlanta, and he ended up going with them through vehicle there. That's what I think. It couldn't have been through travel by air because he would have got caught. Okay, let me know what y'all think down below about that, and we out, y'all.